Welcome to Firewall. I'm Lance Wallnow with my trusty sidekick, Mercedes Sparks, here to illuminate your Saturday by giving you a perspective that you probably didn't hear from other places. And the reason we give you that perspective is because we are like the fusion of a couple of different things. It's the Steve Bannon war room world, the fourth turning, apocalyptic, futurist language in the books that we have written about economic warfare and spiritual warfare. And it's the fact that we believe a great awakening is coming in the midst of a great shaking. And so we kind of put all that data together and create an interesting alchemy. It bridges the crises of history in America with the ultimate providence and purpose of God and how the whole world is hurtling towards a climax, so you could say, of history. So let's start with what happened this week. This is the big week when all of the QAnon posts were having a meltdown, trying to improvise scenarios for what the military was doing in Washington, what Donald Trump was going to do in his final reverse coup attempt, and the fact that there was nobody showing up in what people thought was like a hologram inauguration. So Mercedes has some particularly interesting insights on this from a millennial perspective that I didn't catch, and I'll give you my older guy perspective in a minute.
Yeah, I wanted to give the young person view of what I thought about the inauguration. And so, like Lance just said, probably most notable, there was no one there. There was no one there. And so, well, let's put it up on the screen. Now listen, I made this comparison. I put this comparison photo together. Here's 2017 with Trump at the inauguration, 2021 with Biden. I put it out there, and people are like, well, Mercedes, it was closed. It was closed, Mercedes, for COVID and for safety. And I'm like, but guys, come on. You don't remember during the whole campaign where he could barely even win the primaries? Multiple people had to drop out in order for him to win the primaries. And then when he did win it for the Democrats, he couldn't fill anything up. We had to start carting in Toyotas and like the best in class full of one or two people. So let's be real. They brought the National Guard in for safety, but also to fill things up. So that was my first observation. Second was, the inauguration, Lance, I have to tell you, with all of the rhetoric coming out of that inauguration and the unity that was needed, I really think the inauguration brought the people of America together, Democrats, Republicans, independents. But if you are on the internet at all, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The man who did that is Bernie Sanders and his mittens. So I just want to let you know, here it is. Bernie is all over the place. If you're on the internet, here's the best of the memes that Lance and I could pull together for you. So he's dressed like he's going to the inauguration, but it ain't the only thing he's doing today. And then he looks like, here he goes. It's like, hey, go to drop off the dry cleaning, Joe's thing. And you've heard of Elf on a Shelf, but have you heard of Bernie on a gurney? And here he is doing Gangnam Style. I had no idea he had moves like that at all. I didn't even realize he could dance. And then also, he rides around with the Mandalorian. So there's just some great memes out there. And what's hilarious is everybody is loving it. If you're Republican, if you're Democrat, it's the talk of the town. So we really have Bernie to thank for that. But there's this one final meme I saw, this one. When you're successfully become president, but everyone only talks about Bernie's mittens. And so there's Joe Biden looking sad out of the White House. So really, what does it say about America when the talk after the inauguration is Bernie's mittens and he's everywhere? So I'm going to keep going here. Lance, feel free to jump in if you need to.
I mean, this is, but I want to get the Bernie. You didn't get the one that I sent you today, which is.
Oh, and were praying for him?
Oh, because you have those classic ones with Donald Trump with all the evangelicals, and people praying for him. We'll show it to you next week. You'll see the one that I'm bringing to the conversation.
See, Lance likes to send things 30 minutes before.
Yeah, and then I believe in the spontaneous revelations.
Okay, but I want to show you this too. So obviously there's a swearing in ceremony. We've got Joe Biden. We've got Kamala. And so let's put up I'd like to show Biden because I'm watching the swearing in ceremony, but all I could focus on was what's with the size of this Bible? What's going on? I was like, how is Dr. Biden holding the Bible this long? It's like 6 bricks. And all I could think about was this song from my youth, Let's Roll It.
I like big bubbles and I cannot lie. You Christian brothers can't deny that when a girl walks in with a KJV and a bookmark in Proverbs, you get stoked.
Come on, right? That's all I could think about looking at that Bible.
I like big Bibles and I cannot lie. Was that what it says?
Yeah, I like big Bibles and I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny. When a girl walks in with a KJV.
The KJ, which would be King James Version.
Yeah.
That's really some inside humor there for Bible people. But the fact that it's that big, I think, is shocking because it looks like a stack of when Nancy Pelosi is talking about something that's hidden in a new legislation.
Well, they say
6 inches. I've never seen a Bible that big, and I've seen a lot of Bibles in my life.
I just don't know if the font's that big, but I heard that it was from the 19th century, so from Joe Biden's youth as a young man. All right, I just want to run through a couple more things. All right, the other talk of the town was Lady Gaga's outfit and dress. The only thing people could think about was Welcome to the Hunger Games. And she looked exactly like the announcer lady from the Hunger Games. I mean, it's the same type of thing. And then somebody did this. I don't know who photoshopped this, but it's hilarious because she looks exactly like the woman from the thing. And she's got the Mockingjay, which I just want to throw out there, Lance. I know you don't follow pop culture or Hunger Games, but the Mockingjay symbol comes along and the Hunger Games start because people in all these different districts rise up and attack the Capitol.
And it's a militarized capital, and it's a capital where the elites are dining while everybody's starving, and they have the military there, and no one's on the streets. I mean, how much does art imitate reality, or whatever the saying is?
Totally.
So now what about J-Lo? What's going on with that?
Oh, well, we got all sorts of stuff. So we've got, listen, they all sang, okay? It was like Hollywood rolled out for this whole thing. Lady Gaga sang the national anthem. J-Lo sang This Land Is Your Land. This Land Is My Land. However, at the end, she ended with her own song. And at the very end, she's like, let's get loud. And then she also she's posting on Twitter, like, I guess these really cool casual photos of her so you can remember that she's just Jenny from the block. Don't be fooled by the rocks that she's got. But that's a song, Lance, that she used to sing. I know you wouldn't know. I have to explain it for you, and
no, but I find it strange that she did, like, this land is your land, this land is mine. It's like the Bible, that to reach out to the evangelicals and the Catholics, we want to let them know we're really religious people. So we'll have a Bible the size of a phone booth, and then the song's going to be This Land Is Your Land, This Land Is My Land. And in the first 100 days, Joe Biden has already committed that he's going to be advancing the citizenship for like 11 to 20 million illegal foreigners that are in America, and opening up the borders. So the whole idea that this land is your land, this land is my land. I mean, we got to, and this land is Guatemala's and Honduras also.
I mean,
because the way they're doing this is, but we'll get into that because we have to look at this speech that he gave. Do we have time to cover that? Because I want to cover.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing. A lot of people don't know Lance plays piano, and we just got one for the studio, and I feel a parody coming on, where for This Land Is Your Land, it's like, this land is everyone's land, this land is no land. Like, I mean, I could feel it. The last thing I want to just speak to, because to your point, they're parading out faith. And so they had Garth Brooks, of all people, come in and sing Amazing Grace during the inauguration. And all I could think about was, when Garth sang Friends in Low Places, did he mean these people? I wasn't sure. But anyways, all right, that's it with my jokes and my coverage of the inauguration.
But
back to you, Lance.
Well, there is something here that I think is important to catch, and that is the fact that when Donald Trump was in, and we got to catch this, man. This is the sad commentary of reality. Do you remember how the Hollywood crowd would not support the inauguration, and how, like, the big embarrassment, really, for America was that this man who was going to give us record low unemployment for Hispanics, record low unemployment for African Americans, was going to basically reset North Korea and bring peace to the Middle East. I mean, this is like out of a book. The guy that did that much, they're still raging, vilified over, and America is still unhappy about. I think it just shows some kind of a lunacy that exists in our system. The artist community, the Hollywood community, would not support Donald Trump, and it was like, who's going to risk their career by doing that inauguration? Now we have them fumbling over themselves to show up for the Biden inauguration, and to me, it just reflects something. I can't help it. It reflects something bizarre and real about the fallen nature of planet Earth. That it celebrates what it ought to not celebrate, and that it resists what it ought to welcome. So that's why there's a fight in the battle of good and evil, because for good to advance, you really have to lean into the wind. You can't let the wind blow you off course. When we get back, I want to talk about something we didn't touch on in this segment, which is the dangerous language of the Biden inaugural speech, which started off with the intention of sounding so Lincolnian, like, let's not be enemies, let's bring the better angels of our nature together, and let's walk in unity. And we can, as soon as we annihilate the 75 million people that need deprogramming. That's pretty much where it went if you decode exactly what he said. The weaponizing of the intelligence communities, CIA, the Department of Homeland Security, in order to search for Christians, this is something we need to talk about, because this is end time stuff. We'll be back in a moment with the next session of Firewall.